Welcome to this video where we will learn about the legendary Saiva Saint, Poosalaar Nayanar. He hailed from the town of Thirunindravur, which can be found roughly 25 kilometers west of the city of Chennai and a few kilometers east of Tiruvallur. As Sundarar is the earliest known saint to have sung the glories of Poosalaar Nayanar, we can confirm that Poosalaar has lived prior to or during Sundarar's time, which is the 8th century in the Common Era. His day of Mukti, which is when he attained liberation, is annually celebrated as his Guru Puja on the Anusham Nakshatram of the Tamil month of Aipasi, which is usually around the months of October and November. His glories have been shared with the rest of the world by many saints, including Circular Swamigal, who has dedicated 18 songs in his Periya Puranam to him. Now we know a few details about Poosalaar Nayanar, let's learn a bit more about his story. There was once a Brahmin in the town of Thirunindravur of Thondai Mandalam by the name of Poosalaar. He was a great loving devotee of the all-loving Lord, and whatever wealth he earned, he would make sure to give away to the servitors and fellow devotees of the Lord. It is a well-known fact that mental worship is in many aspects innumerable times better than external ritualistic worship, and mental worship was a form of worship Poosalaar excelled in. It is said that through mental worship one is enabled to attain the superconscious state of samadhi and self-realization relatively quickly. Poosalaar had a great desire to build a temple for his beloved Lord Shiva. However, he did not have the required wealth to do so. Despite all his efforts to gather the required resources, he was not able to, and so Poosalaar realized quickly that if he could not do so physically, he could still carry on with his noble intentions mentally. He thus, in his mind, patiently gathered all the required resources and materials required for this auspicious endeavour, a small quantity at a time, in a sustainable manner, all the while making sure no small detail was left out. He ensured all these materials were stored safely. He then mentally searched for and hired all the appropriate masons, sculptors, and other skilled workers required for this magnificent mental construction. He waited for an auspicious day, as per the Agamic rules, and then laid the foundation stone for the temple in his mind. Once construction began, he guided and treated all workers well, making sure all the construction processes were able to take place without hurdles. He raised the temple progressively, using all the correct methods and measurements. Such was his devotion towards the Lord that he continued even through the night without sleep. He included and planned well all the wonderful sections of a temple, such as the Gopuram and all its picturesque tiers filled with elaborate sculptures, as well as the Vimana, which was built synchronously. He included many pillars in the temple structure, ensured all the plastering works were completed seamlessly. He excavated a well and water tank. He built, bit by bit, all the external and internal temple walls, and made sure to allocate an auspicious day for the installation of the deity in the newly constructed temple in his mind. The Kardava king at the time was also a great devotee of the Lord, and he had also constructed a glorious temple in Kanjipuram at the same time. The day he had fixed for the deity installation of his newly constructed temple also happened to be the same day that Poosalaar had allocated for the deity installation ceremony of the temple he had constructed carefully in his mind. The Lord was greatly pleased with the love and devotion of these two great devotees, but he also wanted to let the Kardava king know of the superiority of the mental worship of Poosalaar. Thus, the Lord appeared in the king's dream and requested him to slightly delay the deity installation ceremony, as he had to go to another temple ceremony at that time, which was constructed by his dear devotee Poosalaar in Thirunindravur. The king energetically woke up from his slumber, enthusiastic to pay a visit to the great devotee the Lord had mentioned in his dream. The king wanted to see this magnificent temple the other devotee had built, as he felt it would be far superior to the one he constructed. When the king arrived at Tirunelveli, he searched the whole place for the new temple, but could not find it. He then inquired about Poosalaar and asked the people of the town, including the Brahmins. They responded by saying Poosalaar was a flawless Brahmin who lived in the town. They told the king where Poosalaar lived. Hearing this, the king, who would normally send a message for the person to come to him, instead felt that such an act would be disrespectful to such a great devotee of the Lord. He made sure to travel by himself towards Poosalaar's place. He found his house and approached him. He then narrated the occurrences in his dream to Poosalaar, and Poosalaar was astonished to hear this. He then recovered and was overwhelmed with joy. He thought to himself, "How kind and merciful is the Lord. He has accepted my mental shrine as his abode when I am only a wretched creature. I am really blessed." Poosalaar then shared with the visiting king that the temple he had built was only in his mind. The king was very surprised to hear this. He admired Poosalaar's pure and sincere devotion, fell at Poosalaar's feet and worshipped him, and returned to his royal home with his men. Poosalaar installed the Lord's deity in his mentally constructed temple on the carefully chosen auspicious time, and continued to worship his beloved Lord with great devotion for many days until he attained the Lord's eternal abode. The legendary Poosalaar Nayanar has inspired many generations since his time, and through his wonderful life showed everyone the wonders and importance of mental worship. His glories have been sung by many great saints, including Sundarar of the 8th century in the Common Era, Nambiyandaar Nambi of the 11th century in the Common Era, and Circular Swamigal of the 12th century in the Common Era.
Manniyaseer Marainaavan என்ற ஊர் பூசல் வரிவளையால் வாணிக்கும் நேசனுக்கும் அடியேன் தென்னவனாய் உலகாண்ட சங்க நாட்கடியேன் திருநீல கண்டத்து பாலனார்கடியேன் என்னவன் அமரனடியே அடைந்திட்ட சடையன் இசைஞானி காதலன் திருநாவலூர்கோன் அன்னவனமாரூரன் அடிமை கட்டுவப்பார் ஆரூரில் அம்மானு கண்பராவாரே. பதுமனற் போதல்ல பாதத்தரற்கொரு கோயிலையான் கதுமனற் செய்குவதன்று கொள்ளாமென்று கண் துயிலாம் ததுமனத்தே எல்லி தோறும் நினைதருள் பெற்றதென்பர் புதுமணத்தென்றல்லுளானென்ற ஊர்தனில் பூசலையே. அன்பரும் அமைத்த சிந்தை ஆலயத்து அரணார் தம்மை நண்பரும் பொழுது சார தாபித்து நலத்தினோடும் பின்பு பூசனைகள் எல்லாம் பெருமையிற் பல நாள் பணி பொன்குனை மன்றுள்ளாடும் பொற்கழல் நிழல் புக்கார்.
Oh hail, the legendary Poosalaar Nayanar.